What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to my channel for another review. This time it is Cobra Kai Season 3. I just finished binging the show in its first day of release, and I am now filled with many questions and thoughts, and I just want to get them down and talk about them. Also, there will be spoilers. I know it's in the title, but I just feel that there needs to be a warning, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it, come back, listen to my thoughts, and we'll have a grand old time. The show was on YouTube Red for 2 years in its initial run, and it got good viewership. It really was, in my opinion, looking at YouTube Red, the really big show and the big get. And once it left YouTube Red and moved to Netflix, that was a big move and a big deal. It gained more notoriety and more recognition, and people started watching it these past couple months since it's been on Netflix, the first 2 seasons. And now the hype for Season 3 has been built. The expectations are there. The show has a lot to live up to, and I think that this season was able to deliver. So let's talk about some of the aspects that I didn't enjoy first, because the stuff that I enjoyed definitely outweighs the stuff that I didn't like. The first thing that kind of jumped out to me was the season did start a little slow. It took a couple episodes really for things to get going, and I felt the same way in Season 2. But just like Season 2, once things get rolling, the show really moves, and it's really entertaining, and it's so easy to binge. The episodes are right around a half an hour to 35 minutes long, and you can just cut through them like cake, basically. That's a terrible analogy. I only wish that there was more, and that's how you know it's a good show, when it leaves you wanting more, and that's exactly what this season does moving on into the next season, but we'll get into that later. Another thing that kind of bothered me a little bit was Hawk's quick turn. I kind of wanted Dimitri to be like, hey man, you're not a good guy, I don't like you, but he didn't do that. He accepted the turn. Another negative thing I would say is Kreese's backstory with the Vietnam War, while good, I think, in terms of building up his character and giving more to his side of the story, I do think it took away from the season a little bit. However, that being said, I do think the misdirect with Terry Silver, them kind of pushing that one guy, making it look like he was Terry Silver, when in reality it was the guy that you least expect. So now on to the pros. The first thing I want to talk about is the music. They do a really good job balancing things like Miyagi's theme or the new Cobra Kai theme and things like that throughout the series, and it really hits home, especially during the fight scenes and the action set pieces. Those are where the music is really well done, and it's something that I always listen to whatever I'm watching. Another positive is something that I think we missed a little bit in Season 2, and it's something we got in Season 3. The relationship between Johnny and Miguel. That relationship, to me, is the centerpiece of this show. It's one of my favorite things of the series. And it's funny that I say that because Miguel's not even Johnny's son. Their chemistry is so good. Coming back from an injury like that, he needed a lot of therapy, and who's there but the greatest therapist in the world? Johnny Lawrence, whose methods are unorthodox, but it's just great to see them together. And then speaking of Johnny, his son Robbie, while dealing with a lot of issues this season from the aftermath of Season 2, his relationship with John Kreese and how that will be moving forward, I found that really intriguing, and flipping him to Cobra Kai, which I think was the big thing in this season. This was teased in Season 2, and it came up in Season 3. Later on in Season 3, I wasn't sure when it was going to come up, but Allie Mills is back. Elizabeth Shue returns to reprise her role from the first movie in the franchise. I thought she did a really good job. I loved her chemistry with Billy Zabka and Johnny, and also Ralph Macchio and Daniel, and the three of them talking about old times and reminiscing, I thought was really fun and really nice. And seeing her and Johnny go on a date to golf and stuff, while a little too on the nose maybe, just because I feel like that's the only place that people go on dates in this version of Cobra Kai, but you know, hey, it is what it is. I thought it was cute, and I thought it was a nice moment to see them. And then another big positive for me was Daniel going to Okinawa and meeting up with Kumiko and Chozen. I thought that their characters had some nice screen time, and their interactions with Daniel were really good. I liked that Chozen was forgiving and really remorseful for his actions. Another thing about this show that the creators like to do, they like to show a lot of flashbacks. So if you're not familiar with the series, you may not even have to watch, just because of the amount of flashbacks that they show from the original movies from past seasons, they really catch you up and let you know what's going on. So they showed plenty of that with Chosen and Kumiko from Karate Kid 2 and how they were involved in the story. I also thought one of the most emotional and best scenes in the season was Kumiko reading Daniel the letter that Mr. Miyagi wrote to Yuki. And I thought that that was so touching and so beautiful how he was writing to her, but he talks about Daniel and how he's basically like a son to him. And he talks about Sam as well, being basically a grandfather to her. And that really got me. That was emotional. And I thought that that was pretty special. One of the best scenes in the season. And I believe that Ralph Macchio actually flew out to Okinawa to film those scenes. And I think it made a difference. The setting was beautiful. The cinematography in those shots were really nice and really pretty, and some of the best in the season, and if not the show in general. Now let's talk about the ending of this season. I love the fight with the music playing. It got really, really intense, and then Daniel comes in there, and Daniel and Johnny are fighting Kreese, and Johnny's fighting Robbie and trying not to fight Robbie and being like, I don't want to fight you, and then he knocks him out and he hurts him. Another thing that I love but also hate, but I love it, is Johnny and Robbie's relationship. Johnny tries to be a father to Robbie, but he just can't. Yet he's able to succeed with Miguel, and Robbie sees that. Johnny has made efforts at points of the series, but they just fall short. They fall flat. I love that that keeps spiraling downward because that leads to Robbie not trusting Johnny, and he doesn't trust Daniel now because Daniel was the one who got him into juvie, but it was for his own good because otherwise he would have had a larger sentence for what he did to Miguel, even though it was an accident in season 2. So Robbie's character is actually really interesting, and I really like it. I wish they would have explored it a little more this season, but I do enjoy the complexity of his loyalties and what he's gone through in his life. And then at the end of the season, Daniel and Johnny joining forces, Eagle Fang Karate. I love that name. It's so Johnny to name his dojo Eagle Fang. Oh my god, it's so stupid. But yet it's so good. And it's really interesting that the show is called Cobra Kai, but now they're really the bad guys. And it's all setting up for the All Valley in season 4 and the return to the All Valley. It was nice to see John Kreese get slapped. It was some nice comeuppance. He deserved that. Slap that man, please. He's not a good guy. He's a bad man. And that's another thing with this show sometimes. There's a lot that goes on and there's a lot of crazy things that happened in the past couple seasons. And I do kind of like how they're like, whoa, kids fighting in the schools, like have an all-out karate brawl. There's like a karate war going on. Maybe we should chill, guys. Maybe we should relax. And both dojos are like, no, we don't want to relax. We want to fight. We want to punch someone in the face. There was a portion of the season dedicated to people being like, is this really the right thing to do? No? Alright, just do it anyway, whatever. So overall, in terms of a score, I'm going to give Cobra Kai Season 3 a 4.3 out of 5. I would say off a gut reaction right now and ranking the first 3 seasons, I'll go Season 1, Season 3, and then Season 2. I love all 3 seasons, but I think in particular Season 1 just kind of blew me away. But I think the best thing is when you have no expectation for something and it's really good. That's the best kind of surprise to me. And that's what Season 1 did, and it brought me into the show. It brought me back into this world. And Season 3 kept things going, and it elevated things to a new level in terms of the stakes. This show is something that I've loved for a couple of years now, and I can't wait for it to get even more notoriety because it certainly deserves that. So those are my thoughts of Season 3 of Cobra Kai. Let me know down below in the comments what your thoughts of this season were, your predictions for Season 4, some of the characters you liked, maybe some of the characters that you disliked, all that good stuff. Let me know down below in the comments. That'll be all from me, guys. I'll catch you on the next video. Remember to strike first, strike hard, and no mercy. Peace out.